Targaryen forefathers predicted the doom of Valyria before arriving in Westeros. With such a dream tying to Game of Thrones' greater plot, Season 1 of House of the Dragon is set 172 years before the birth of Daenerys Targaryen, representing the house at the pinnacle of their reign, around 1 century after Aegon the Conqueror conquered Westeros. The Targaryen aren't the only important house of the dragon family with a strong connection to Old Valyria, but the Doom has played a considerably greater role in their history than others. House Targaryen and House Valyrian, both of whom descended from Valyria before the Doom, have one of the most crucial partnerships in the House of the Dragon. The Velaryons escaped Valyria for Driftmark but the dragon-riding family had a magical connection to the events. Before the Doom ravaged Old Valyria, Daenerys Targaryen had a prophetic dream in which he saw the events unfolding years in advance. As the shock ending of House of the Dragon Episode 1 reveals, foreseeing the Doom of Valyria wasn't the Targaryen-only humanity-saving dragon dream, as Aegon the Conqueror's Song of Ice and Fire dream prompted him to capture Westeros. With another dreadful winter on the horizon that would exterminate the living, Aegon dreamt that a Targaryen king or queen would need to sit on the Iron Throne to unite the realm against the Night King and White Walkers. The Targaryen departed Valyria before the Doom occurred, almost a century before they invaded Westeros, with the main family of the House of the Dragon being the only dragonlords to escape the destruction. By the time the Doom arrived, the Targaryen had relocated to Dragonstone, accompanied by their dragons. Despite having no understanding of what caused the catastrophe, they were not spared the specifics of Valyria's devastating doom. The peninsula was utterly devastated, with the Valyrian kingdom dissolving after a succession of apparent natural disasters submerged the freehold in the terrible smoking sea by House of the Dragon's chronology. What happened during the Doom of Valyria? The Valyrian freehold was devastated in a single day, around 100 years before Aegon's conquest, after over 5,000 years of being the thriving dominating force in Essos. When the Doom started, a network of volcanoes known as the 14 Fires erupted, destroying all of Valyria and its surrounding territories with ash and fire. The destruction would continue for those who survived the volcanic explosions, as matching earthquakes shook the Targaryen ancient home. Valyria itself shattered, allowing the ocean to wash in and submerge most of the region. During the period of the protagonists in Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, the water-covered Valyrian peninsula was known as the Smoking Sea, which sailors fervently avoided in fear of the location being haunted by demons. What really caused the Doom of Valyria? The exact reason for Valyria's doom is unknown in the House of the Dragon. While some descendants of Valyria and historians believe the doom was caused by natural calamities, others believe it was caused by Valyrian sorcery. This hypothesis appears to be backed by King Viserys Targaryen in House of the Dragon, who tells Rhaenyra that the dragons have affected the area's devastation. Given that the Doom killed all live dragons save those with whom House Targaryen's family members had already left, the calamity might have been an attempt to rid the world of the beasts. How did the Targaryen escape before the Doom of Valyria? Viserys, king of the House of the Dragon, tells his daughter Rhaenyra that their ancestor Daenerys Targaryen had a strong prophetic dream of the Doom 12 years before it happened. She told her father, Enar, who listened to the dream and decided in 114 BC to relocate the Targaryen and their belongings, including 5 dragons, to Dragonstone in Westeros. When the Doom of Valyria arrived 12 years later, the dragon-riding family had already established themselves at Dragonstone, making them the only dragonlords to escape the disaster. What happened to Valyria after the Doom? The Valyria lost all of its records after the Doom and became the Smoking Sea, but its history is being taught by the House of the Dragons Targaryen on the Iron Throne. The collapse of Valyria ushered in the Century of Blood in Essos, which saw the Volantines attempt to rebuild the empire under their own leadership. The Century of Blood was a time of chaos in which the remaining Essos peoples and places attempted to regain the empire for themselves, resulting in the foundation of the Free Cities. Volantes sought to seize the remaining colonies, but was met with resistance from the old Game of Thrones colonies. Aegon Targaryen eventually entered the war on the side of Volantes' adversaries, and with 3 dragons by his side, attempts to create the Free Cities, a new Valyrian empire, were foiled. Following the Doom of Valyria and the Century of Blood, political situation resembled that presented in House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones via Daenerys' tale. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to comment, subscribe and give us a like.